What if I tell you that this type of project is for everyone? All you need is grab some old book, maybe a book that you purchase in the second-hand store, maybe a book that you just have in the house, maybe your neighbor has some book. I'm pretty sure we all have some older books that we could use for our art. You can also use a cardboard box, you can also use a magazine, you can also use just a book, any sort of book you have. To be creative, to make journal pages, you just need any kind of surface. Honestly, any surface would work. I'm using old book. I found it in the second-hand store ages ago actually, and I love making art pages in it because it gives me this background which is already arty. I love it. I love the text. I love that sometimes we have some images as well, but I wish you to understand that to be creative you don't need special supplies, you don't need amazing tools, you don't even need any skills. You just need a willingness to make some art, a little bit of time, and just imagination, just your spirit of being arty here and now. I would love you to join me. Look, I just have old book. I have some papers, and that's it. I'm putting this in the middle, in the spine, because I like doing that. I just really wish to keep this middle part secured, and I'm using just masking tape. You'll get that in any hardware store for really little finances, little money. I'm putting that in here. I love it. Awesome. And my next step will be to think of really how I'm gonna actually add my imagery. Collagen tiles is something that it's definitely be more often in our studios here, because I will be creating in this style I guess a lot. I love it. I think it's such a great way to be creative without really thinking. Look, I'm just cutting papers in a smaller element just to create a design, just to create a collage, just to have a pretty background done with the papers that I just found around my studio. I'm pretty sure that you have tons of papers that you could just simply cut in smaller. When I was tidying up the studio, that's exactly what I did. I just went around and I said, oh, I like that page, and I'll show you actually because I have few of them still. I grabbed a few pages and I was like, oh, I like this. These cards, can I use them somehow? Because I have tons of these from different years. Can I use them? Then pretty papers, can I cut them smaller? This also, how pretty. I'm gonna cut it smaller, use it for some of the pages. Honestly, just grab your book, just grab your papers, and this is not something that you really have to be. This is very forgetful type of art. Anyone can do it. You, me, I'm not even thinking about it. All I have is like pretty things. I just grabbed what I love. Some flowers, some butterflies, some vintagey feel. How it's gonna be, how it's gonna turn up, and how really it's gonna kind of speak to us, I have no idea. I will just start. I will just start, and I'm gonna give you advice. Start the same way sort of as I will, which is start on both sides with the same imagery. So if you have, let's say this imagery is from the same type of paper, how about starting, so to build a composition, to build a good feeling and it's something that is pleasing for the eye, start with these elements sort of going similar way, going also kind of in contemporary, no, I don't know how to say it in English, like they going against each other, but they are the same kind of thing. So they are like on two sides, but they are like the same, so they're gonna be pleasing to the eye. Your composition will be pleasing to the eye, I would hope anyway. So I'm grabbing butterflies, flowers, then butterflies, and jumping with the same sort of do you know what, my glue, it's good for the big surfaces, so I'm gonna grab a smaller one. Oh, this one maybe not as much, but maybe this one. Yeah, let's try this one. Oh, that's a little bit easier on my hands. So now I'm just gonna be trying to see where the actual flowers are gonna go. So if that goes here, how about doing it against it, contrary, that's the word I think I was looking for. Now again, your composition is your composition. You must know that. How I do it doesn't have to be something you love. Maybe it's quite opposite. Maybe you actually would prefer something looking a little bit different. That's okay too. Now I'm gonna grab this one as well and add it. Let's say, where will I add it? Here, here. I would feel here. A little bit of, oh, a little bit of glue, and we sort it for this little bit. Now, collagen tiles, I think it's a great way of really using things you have, like your scraps, because I'm focusing on pretty elements, but you don't have to. You can just use whatever you have. It could be magazine pages, it could be anything. I'm focusing on having a little bit of a pretty background in terms of what can I add to make it pretty, what else will match. I'm focusing on sort of color scheme, as you can tell, so it's pleasing to the eye. I think when you're choosing your elements, try to have them similar vibe. I think that's what I would sort of feel. Have a similar vibe. Have a vibe that just speaks volume in the same color scheme. So we can see that this is pretty much delicate sort of feel. I wonder, will I add these words? Diary, diary. I like that actually. Look, it's matching gorgeousness, I'd say. But then I feel I would love a little bit more of tiles. So how about adding even more, like, let's say, no, let's go upwards, like here, lovely jovely. Then how about, oh, I have another one here, the leafy leaf. So let's add this one as well. All you need is like papers. Please promise me to try. If you're not too convinced as yet, look, I have this page that I made as a first one, Collagen Tiles. We have this page as well, Collagen Tiles, also different. Also this page, all these three videos, I'm gonna give you them in the link in the description box, the playlist for all these three pages, because these are all in the type of collageintiles. So we have elements. These are actually paper from paint shops, like paint samples. Look how gorgeousness these are. And this was the first one. I love it. We may jump in for the same kind of feel, so we're gonna do a little bit of white background around it. Oops, and yeah, I think it's gonna be fantastic. The page size is a little bit smaller, different, so it will feel different, but I think that's good as well, because it doesn't matter. Like, you can have your page being vertical, horizontal, I wanted to say, but you can have your page being more square or more rectangle, bigger, small. It doesn't matter. I wish you to understand, it doesn't matter. You really can do however it feels right to you. And if it feels to have it there with the smaller pieces, great. Bigger pieces, great. However it just feels right, I would say. I love that. So we have kind of heavier going inwards, not as heavy, a bit of lighter elements of this kind, and there we go. Love this. Maybe one more. How about a little bit of one more? I could have, oh, maybe this one. Let's see, this bright one, maybe. How about that? I think so. Maybe, oh, that could feel great here, and something like that. I love adding clear gesso to my pages, and honestly, this is just heaven for my art pages. I love having this primed, and if you're not familiar with clear gesso, I tell you, get one. I think it's a great investment. I think it's a must in general, at least in my books, because I love having my surface ready, primed for any sort of medium works. And now we will be working actually first time with the dry pastels. I've worked with dry pastels before, but this time I have the whole palette, and we will be hopefully using it like really A lot, a lot, a lot. We shall see. I'm not too sure actually whether it's gonna be helpful for the dry pastels to have the layer of gesso. I'm guessing yes. I'm guessing it will be smoother. We will be able to kind of smush it the color better. We shall see, I think. I'm gonna put the whole I'm gonna put the gesso on the whole page everywhere, in all these little elements and edges and in between and all. Dry that, and then we will add some color into it, doodles as well. Look, it is so simple. Now let's grab white and let's also add some white. How about using gesso this time? I think last time we've used acrylic paint. This time I'm gonna be adding a little bit of white gesso just to have this tiny bit standing out from the whole page. Let's add some white here as well. I like adding a little bit of white gesso in here. This kind of brings everything standing out more from the page. Bigger contrast. We still have the text, we still see the text, which is the most important because I love the text, but we have it faded a little bit, and I like that idea. I like how it is. We can do tiny touches on the side here, maybe slightly brighter there. There we go. I love that. Now there we go. Let's try this and add color to it. Before we're gonna start coloring, let's try some colors. I'm thinking a little bit of vintage. If you're wondering about this set of colors that I have here, this is the big set of dry pastels. This is from Rembrandt. This is the brand. I actually fell in love recently with dry pastels, and I really would love to learn more about them, you know. I love the skin color tones, and I think we're gonna jump in for some darker, not this one, not this one, not this one either. I'm looking for this blue, but it's not really blue, like this one, you know, like dark blue. It's kind of here, maybe it is actually kind of this one. So let's keep this one. Maybe all of these I love, actually all of these. So we have, yes, I'm gonna put them like this. I know which colors I tested out already. Have I tested this one? Yes. What about this one? Like, these are the skin tones. I love them so much. Like, oh, try this one. I love that too. Wow. Do you know what? Yes, I'm gonna just go for these colors, I'm thinking. Yeah, I love it. I started adding the brightest color. I think I'm kind of feeling that adding the brightest will set me for kind of no failure in a way, if you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is probably that it is safer to start with the brightest because you can always go darker, and it's a little bit more tricky to go brighter. You would have to jump in with gesso, and it is possible, of course, but my advice, my personal way of seeing things is start with the brightest. This is the brightest from the whole these sets. So yes, I think we can go for this. I love the shading now, how it looks. Fantastic. Honestly, I'm just learning the dry pastels. My friend Asha asked me, Marta, but they're like, you know, pieces, they're making your finger dirty. They do. But you know what? I'm learning to love it. I'm learning to just really truly enjoy pastels. Back to you. I must say, I've been caught up by my Lucas. He just came back from morning walks and shopping and taking Hannah to school. And he purchased a tennis racket for me because I'm starting a tennis lessons today with my friend. So I'm super excited about that. It's a great sport, and honestly, I always wanted it. And now that there are classes, lessons in our town, I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm going. So very excited about that, I have to say. Now I'm adding this reddish color. I'm not 100% sure I do love it, but that's okay. I think we can jump in with a touch of brown as well with it and see if together joined, for example, will be like super nice and special. So let's see. I love the shading, how it's actually turning up, turning up, turning out, turning out, I think. I like that. Okay, a little bit of color in places. They really smudge well. I like that. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Because he's eating breakfast in case you hear him scrubbing from some plates. I love that. I'm gonna get back a little bit with the brighter now just to see if this is not too dark. I just wish to play around just to see how the pigment will react with each other. I like that. I love that you can actually mix and match all of these colors and they do blend in lovely. Out of curiosity, what about if we grab like a very bright one? What will happen then? Oh, I love that kind of milky color you get in places. Wow, I love this. Very dreamy, very nice. I'm using the same pretty much dirty finger right now, so I do wonder if this would be better if I'll like, you know, clean it off possibly. Oh, I like that you can just look at it, how dreamy it is now with this. Oh, I love this. Oh, this is really me page, like my page. I totally love it. And even going like this, holding the pastel and just dry this, not dry this, blend this, I mean, super dreamy. I love the idea of losing that whiteness of the page actually. So we do have, like here was too much white, like there's no more white except the actual paper elements. I love that. The fact that we lost it due to the pastels, I really love that. Now my next step would be, which I'm not too sure if it's gonna work, we have to see it together. I'm gonna doodle with some white and black pencil, not pencil, well maybe pencil as well, black and white fine liners. I have them kind of things, markers, pens. We shall see what will work on the dry pastels actually. Time for a little bit of doodles. Now I'm using, this is Arteza, a black fine liner sort of thing. I'm using this in black. I really love the idea that it is working regardless of the medium being used. So I'm just outlining, just like doing a little bit of the lines. Maybe let's not focus on them to be too harsh. So let's just have a little bit of doodles, like kind of more not as harsh, not as defined, I guess. That's the right way to put it. Let's add a little bit of white. Now the thing is with the acrylic markers, they do get stained from the dry pastels, which it's normal. And I think what we have to do is just, if you really wish to use this in particular product, you just have to clean it off from time to time. And that's okay, that's how it is. Unless you use a different product, which we may as well try it out. I love this. I think we actually pretty much done here, I have to say, which is quite interesting. A super easy project, you have to say that. I honestly believe that you can do it, I can do it, others can really, really, really do that. Now, I think it would be lovely if we could add a little bit of splashes. I'm looking around for my favorite splashy. Oh, it's here. Splashes, and how about a little bit of white inking? How about that? So I have white ink and I have my text stamp, which this ink is from Scrapbook, which I think could be just lovely, lovely. Let's see. Oh, it is actually so nice. Let's see where else we can add. Just the touches, I think. It's just so lovely to have the touches. Not too serious amount of text, but it's just the right amount, I think. This is a great pigment ink. This is white from Scrapbook. Get it, get it. You will totally love it. And lastly, or not lastly, because how about adding black splashes as well? Let's add some splashes from the Woddy 3-in-1 from Stabilo. in a few places, not in too many. I think possibly this is a tiny bit too much for my liking. Let's see if we can somehow remove this for maybe a white something. I'll see, because I think the problem is that sometimes in my books anyway oh, look, it's so simple with the dry pastels. Sometimes I just feel that maybe things could be in a different place and this felt like it could be in a slightly different place. And then how about if I'll try to add some white inking to that, maybe to just try to hide it a little bit. And now still, even though we have some white inking, I think it would be just lovely to have white splashes as well, and these white splashes could actually go here exactly. So there we go. I think the white splashes are great, the black splashes are great, but I think with the black, I feel that I would love it to be a bit more in some specific areas rather than in here, bloppy blob. Too much, I think, was just too much. Ugh, come on. No. Maybe. There we go. Sometimes I feel that this is nearly too thick of a pigment, which I love Winsor & Newton Calligraphy Ink. I will try to give you all the links to either Amazon or Scrapbook or wherever I can to find it. I will try to link it all. Okay, so check the list below. And I don't think we are done with the black one. I think we can still add, but just in a little bit of a different place, like here, for example, a little bit, like a teensy bit, maybe here and here again. So like maybe in one segment of splashes. Does it make even sense? No. There we go. Darker maybe there, darker. Did you see that blob of color? Do you know what? It's okay, but if I can get rid of it, that's even better. Okay, perfect. There we have by accident actually a little bit of a saying here, a little bit of words, and I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I think we can call this one really done and finished. If not for something in the middle, I wonder. I was trying to see if maybe adding a little bit of a sentence or something in there would fit, and probably would, but how about instead of this, how about adding just an extra white in there, just to have it, there we go, get rid of that sort of blankness in the middle. Yeah, I think, my beautiful friends, I think we can call this one done and finished using soft pastels. I think, no, it's not that I think, I'm sure. I absolutely love this page. I really hope you will check the other pages, the other collagen tiles. Please be sure to use collagen tiles hashtag so you can check others projects as well. If you don't have soft pastels, no problem. Use oil pastels, use pan pastels, use watercolors, use just any color mediums you own, and that's no problem. Whatever you have, just use it out. Use even acrylics, anything really. My beautiful friends, I'm gonna wrap up at that. Wishing you a lovely day or night, evening, whenever you're watching. I miss you tons already. I know I've been a little bit away. I've been a little bit not uploading too many videos, but I've been very active on Instagram. Please check my Instagram, because I love to bits my Instagram stories, so please check it out. I'm there daily. And yes, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll chat to you very soon. Bye.